welcome to the Women Techmakers Montreal Podcast. I'm Leticia and I'm so excited to be here on this episode talking about data and tech with some amazing women. And today we'll be exploring the journeys and insight of three inspiring women who have been shaping the world of data: Raphaelle, Valérie, and Anna. Thank you so much for joining us today. Would you love to hear more about you? So could you each start by sharing a little about your journey and what got you into the world of data?
Sure. Thank you, Leticia. So hi, I'm Raphaelle. My journey started pretty young, actually. Both my parents are entrepreneurs in tech, and I remember them taking me to computer class when I was only 4 years old.
Wow.
So, yes. So naturally, I've always been drawn to the tech world. I went into software engineering for my studies. And when I graduated back in 2019, the hottest job on the market was to be a data scientist. So of course, I went into it. But honestly, I went into it not because it was popular, not only for that, but also because I like the fact that you were trying to answer business challenges with data and tech. So that's what got me into this role. And over the years, so I've been a data scientist, a business analyst, and a data engineer. I really wanted to understand the whole data journey. So from how we collect them and structure them to how we predict and drive decisions. I spent part of my career in banking, and now I'm in the entertainment world as a team lead in data engineering at Cirque du Soleil in the revenue and customer experience division. And yeah, like I said, what I like about my previous role and my current role is really closing the gap between the business and the tech. So I really love building solutions that are practical, scalable, but also solutions that business stakeholders will actually understand and use.
Hi, I'm Anna Martin, and I work as digital marketing analyst. My journey began with a degree in business administration, where I discovered my passion for data analysis. I started my career in Montreal, where I've grown professionally in the tech industry and developed a strong focus on data-driven marketing. With more than 10 years of experience across different companies and sectors, I now specialize in data analysis, web tracking, and optimization. I really believe that data leads to smarter and strategic decisions. It's not only about assumptions, it's about giving insights.
Thank you, Anna. I'm Valérie. I'm a senior data developer. I studied network and telecommunication, but I've got the chance to work in business intelligence quickly, and I never look back. I have over 15 years of experience in the Microsoft environment, both on-prem and in the cloud. And in the last years, I also worked in the Google Cloud platform. I work in all kinds of industries, but the common theme has always been the complexity of the data. And this is what I like in my job, transforming complex data into something easy to work with. And Raphaelle always say that I shine on turning chaos into clarity.
You sure do.
That's perfect. I love this. I really love hearing about your paths in data science, data analysis. I'm also a data developer, and I'm always curious about the challenge behind the scenes. So I'd like to ask you, what's the single biggest challenge you faced in your data career so far? Technical, organizational, or communication related? And what did you learn from overcoming it?
My biggest challenge was during the pandemic, and I know it's the same for a lot of people. So I was working for Cirque du Soleil, and during a week, everything stops. So that's mean that they had to keep only key people in the company to just have enough people to relaunch when everything will come back. And I was one of those key people. So that's mean in 1 week, I was in charge of all the data of all the company, all the pipelines, and without knowledge transfer. So it was a lot of reverse engineering to understand why this report doesn't work or why the pipeline failed, stuff like that. And also I had to learn a lot of it by myself. So this is when I start to jump into GCP because I wasn't working on that before, and also it was the same for Power BI and stuff like that. So that's my challenge.
Thanks, Valérie. Must have been a hell of a challenge. I wouldn't want to be in your place at that time. For me, the challenge that keeps coming back is not really the technical aspect. For sure, it's one of them. Like, it goes super fast. There's always a new technology, a new thing to learn every day right now, especially in AI. But for me, it's not the technical aspect that has been my biggest challenge. It's really the communication. So I come from a software and data background, like I said before, and I was pretty much behind the scene as a person. Like, data developers were not the one who shine. It's the data analysts with the dashboards and all. So communication didn't come naturally for me. But I realized pretty quickly at the beginning of my career that you can have the smartest technical solution in the world if you want, but if you don't know how to explain to the business stakeholders what it will bring them, well, they won't get on board with it and they're not going to use it. So that has been a big lesson for me. Communication is a skill that I needed to develop as much as coding. So, yeah. You have to adapt your language, demystify the tech, and make it relatable to the business stakeholders. So that's what I've learned, and honestly, I've seen the change. I've seen that people do get engaged into what you do more when you know how to explain it to them.
I would say one of the challenges I often face is when people don't trust the results that come from data. This happens when the insights are surprising or the result is not what they expect, which can make them question whether the analysis is really accurate. So to handle this, it's important not only to double check the data, but also to explain things clearly and with empathy. Because in my opinion, building trust means helping others understand the story behind the numbers and showing how data can support better decisions.
Thank you, girls. I super understand you, like your challenge and all this. I came from a different background. I came from civil engineering, and when I decided to change to data science, I thought it was just code. Okay, I will start programming. But in fact, like communication, it's a super important skill, and it's not just that, but adapting quickly, improving communication, building trust are key topics, concepts in data. And I experienced that as well in my own journey as a data scientist, especially with how fast things evolve in your field, and with new tools, AI, cloud platforms. It often feels like we are constantly learning something new while still needing to keep the fundamentals strong. When I started working with data science, no AI, there wasn't AI, and we are constantly learning something new. And now I'm curious about you, like how do you personally stay on top on this rapid evolution without feeling overwhelmed? And has there been a specific tool or concept that really transformed the way you work?
I think it's essential staying up to date and continuously improving your skills. Personally, I do this by reading blogs, following leaders on LinkedIn, taking Google training sessions, and collaborating with different teams, partners, or agencies. It's very important to understand the key concepts and the change happening in the industry, like cookie consent regulations, the shift from J3 to J4, or the move to server-side tracking. These changes affect how everything works, and if you don't understand them, it becomes very hard to explain this to other people, to your team, to your clients.
For me, I make a point to stay informed about what's new, but regardless of the technology. Whenever it's Google, AWS, or Microsoft, or any other platform, I believe it's important to keep learning and to be curious. And that can mean having conversation with the colleagues or friends who use those tools, or watching conferences sessions like Google Next, Microsoft Ignite, and there is a lot of more. And yes, it's always about staying curious and connected.
Thanks, Val. I'd like to start by saying, like, for me, I like to think AI and like fashion. There's always a new trend every season, and honestly, if you try to catch them all, like to try them all and go on all the trends, well, you just burn out because there's too many. So the trick, like my colleague said, is to stay curious, but take it one step at a time. So yes, read, do labs, test things, but don't pressure yourself to be an expert on everything, because it's impossible. There's too much. So yeah, the key is to have a strong foundation, because honestly, like in the end, like whenever you know the foundation, everything is the same. What I want to say about that is that either you're working on AWS, on Azure, or on GCP, the foundation is the same. So once you understand that, then you can build on top of that your knowledge. So the tech moves so fast that the goal is just to try to keep learning piece by piece. And whenever there's a new tech, try to understand what it's built on top of. Like I said, the foundation. That way you won't get overwhelmed. Also use the tools. We have so many amazing new tools that keep emerging. To help you code, to help you understand. Whenever you have a bug, like I remember back then when every time I had a bug, I had to go to find like another person who had the same bug on Stack Overflow. Now I just go ahead and ask Copilot, and then boom, I have my answer, and it can even like write it for me in my code. Like honestly, it's so much a gain of productivity that do not miss out on that. Like really use them. Like it's amazing. And also I would say that before adding a new tool or try to understand a new technology that emerged from yesterday, let's say, try to find a clear use case first. Because if you know what you want to accomplish with it, you really understand the value it brings. So for example, at Cirque, we've jumped into the agentic AI trend. So right now we're developing a data agent that can query our BigQuery tables directly. So the idea was to give the executives at Cirque a quick self-serve access to data. Dashboards are great. They're still going to exist for sure, but sometimes leaders need like a KPI, their board meeting tomorrow, let's say. So that's not already displayed on the dashboard. So instead of sending last minute requests to the analyst, they can ask the data agent. They'll be they'll be able to just ask it and have an instant answer. And it's also a quick win for the analyst because they can focus on deeper and more strategic analysis, and that way they won't be pulled away for urgent one-off questions.
I love that. So you use GCP in your work?
Yes, we do. We have both. We have Azure and GCP. But us in our in the revenue and customer experience division, we have all of our data in GCP.
That's perfect. I love GCP. I love BigQuery. I use all the time because I started using GCP, so it was easier to learn how to use that. So, and comparing to the other clouds like AWS and Azure, it's in the beginning it's more difficult to learn, right? So I would say that GCP is like more friendly for beginners.
And also the name of the services means something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more creative on the names of services.
Yeah, but yeah, I love GCP and I use all the time. So yeah, it's impossible to know everything, right? And things have been changed a lot. And I really believe in what you mentioned, like staying curious, focusing on strong foundations, making sure there's a clear use case before adopting these new tools. And I also believe that all of this also connects directly with business needs, making the business see the value behind the work. That's also something I've used to guide my own learning. In my first opportunity as a data scientist, I already had the foundations to start, but many of the things I went deeper into came from business needs. For example, I had strong knowledge in machine learning, but when a project came up that required NLP in Google Cloud, I used that as a driver to study and practice those tools in real time. So for me, that was one of the best ways to learn directly by practicing while solving real business problems. And I had a clear goal in mind, so I knew what I wanted to accomplish with it, which really accelerated my learning. Yeah, so I can clearly see how much business needs shape the way we learn and the way we deliver value. And now I want to know from you, like, what's one important lesson you learned about effectively bridging the gap between technical data work and real world business needs and expectations?
Sure. So I'm going to repeat myself maybe a bit, but the biggest lesson I learned is really to know your audience. And like I said before, communication is key. Learn how to speak their language, because whenever you enter a meeting and you start getting too technical, people won't admit it, but sometimes they don't understand you. So don't assume they have the same level of knowledge as you, because I know we love to showcase our solution, to show up the cool tech and all that, but most business stakeholders, they just want to know two things. Will it help us more? Will it help us sell more tickets? And what will it cost? So yeah, know your audience. And also I've learned that preparation is everything. Never underestimate how much time it will take you to get ready for a meeting. Even if it's a 5-minute demo. Sometimes it's even more time to prepare, because in 5 minutes you want to show like the essential and you want to have the most powerful like presentation so that people remember your solution.
It's like 5 minutes, but you spend like hours to prepare that.
Yeah. It's pretty hard, but it's everything if you want to make an impact. Finally, always make sure everyone is aligned, like on the definitions and on the expectations, both the technical and the business side. And because that alignment will save a lot of misunderstanding later.
Very interesting. For me, one of the most important parts of my work is communicating insights in a clear and meaningful way. It's not just about analyzing data, it's about understanding the business needs and translating numbers into a language that makes sense to everyone involved. Well, design reports and dashboards help, but what really makes a difference is the story behind the data. That's what helps people understand what's happening to make confident and informed decisions.
Thank you, Anna. On my side, I always start by asking the business what they truly need. And also I really make sure that we're on the same page for the definitions, because my definition is not their definition, and a clear understanding from the start is the key to deliver the right solution. And also I always expose the limitation of the data to the business, because that way we don't commit to something impossible and we can work together to find the right solution. If I want to say example, I remember someone was asking us for real-time data. So you have to know that we receive data from all over the world, okay? So every country, every language, and it's not the same granularity of the data, and it's not the same frequency of the data. So sometimes we receive the report of the sales once a week. So if you ask me for real-time data, it's gonna be really difficult to find the data. So always be clear about what we have and be sure that the other part understand the limitation we have with the data.
Yeah. So this is one of the first steps we need. First, okay, which type of data we have, and then understand how we can shape that, how the analysis and all this, and also communication and all this alignment part are like important skills when we talk about data science, data analysis, data world, sometimes even more than the technical side. And I also believe the story behind the data is what really makes insights meaningful. And one book I often recommend on this topic is Storytelling with Data. You heard about that? No? I really recommend that.
Okay.
It's Storytelling with Data by Cole Nussbaumer. I'm not sure if I'm saying the name correctly, but I find it so practical for translating numbers into clear, impactful stories. So basically in this book, you can we have comparisons from a good chart and a bad chart. So you can understand how you can tell a story for people using the data you have, and also the visual part, the colors and all this, because all this impact in your presentation, the way you communicate. So I love this book. I love this, and I really recommend. And yeah, so now to wrap up, I'd like to ask you a more personal question, what's one piece of advice you'd give to someone just starting out today, especially if they are entering the industry as a woman or from an underrepresented background?
I'm gonna be quick, okay? So don't give up, okay? Keep learning everywhere from everyone. Some people will always look down on us, no matter what. Don't waste your time on them.
Love how straightforward you are, Valérie. That's straight to the point, but really good advice. For me, I would say don't wait until you're 100% ready. You will never feel 100% ready, especially now, since it's going super fast, like we said. You will grow the most when you push yourself out of your comfort zone. Like, for example, today the podcast is in English. We are not native English speakers. You can tell by the accents of everyone, but it's okay. We get out of a comfort zone and it's a great experience. So don't wait until you feel 100% ready. You will never be 100% ready. Surround yourself with mentors, peers who will lift you up. That's a key aspect also on your growth. And if you don't know something, be honest about it and then go figure it out. Like I said, nobody's an expert in everything. And again, it's impossible. And you will know. Whenever someone says he's an expert on everything or he says that he knows it all, nobody trusts this person. Take the feedback, let yourself be challenged, but never question your worth. And remember, like Valérie said, you will never be liked by everyone. Don't take it personally.
I will say the same as my colleagues, and I would say also find something you're truly passionate about and be patient with your growth. Stay connected with others in the tech community, share experience and learn from each other. What's very important, never stop learning, as we say. And the digital world is all the time changing, so continuous learning not only helps you to stay relevant, but it also builds confidence and it makes it easier to adapt to new challenges.
Thank you.
Love your words. Yeah, for sure. You never will feel 100% ready, but don't give up. It's part of the process, and for sure, you will learn from this experience. We are here talking English. It's not our first language, right? But we can learn something from this experience, right? We can practice English. You can, And thank you so much, girls, for sharing your experience with us. I love that.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I loved your thoughts, your insights about this. And before we go, I just have a quick reminder. So the Women Techmakers Montreal Podcast is back for the 2nd edition, and you can expect a brand new episode every month, and we will be covering a variety of topics across tech, design, data, life, and beyond. And we are always looking for both sponsors and speakers. So if you fit into one of these categories, feel free to reach out. And even if you just want to connect, have a chat, don't hesitate to drop us a message. And thank you so much, Raphaelle, Valérie, and Anna, for sharing your experiences with us today. And thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Letty.
Thank you.